we go.
Death traps. Warp bombs. 5 planet-destroying cannons. And a surveillance state covering the entire city. If only that blasted Dimensionator still worked.
Clank.
Huh? After him! No!
I'm coming, Clank. No, 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 no!
Welcome, oh master of us all. Password, please.
Why do I need a password? I'm the Emperor. How about I obliterate you instead? Ha 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 ha!
Bring me that lumber!
So, then this Dimensionator was stolen by Dr. Nefarious, who used it to bring you here? Now you just have to find your friend, who is also miraculously a Lombax, to save the day.
And get home.
You must seriously think I'm an idiot. Look, as real as I'm sure this Dr. Nefarious is, this has the Emperor written all over it.
Help! Wait! Under attack! Anyone!
Mort? What's going on?
Oh dear.
Brace for impact!
Oh. Look out!
What do you think I'm doing? Ah!
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart walkthrough, so we finally get to play as Rivet, which has been the character who's been slapped onto the cover of the game and also heavily advertised as well. So she's a female Lombax, and she's, well, what happened to Angela is the kind of question I want to know before we start knowing if she is among the last Lombaxes or not. But either way, all we have for now is Ratchet and Rivet, and she plays exactly like Ratchet does, so the only differences we're going to get are the cutscenes. I was a little bit disappointed that she's just literally Ratchet, same weapons, same upgrades, everything carries over, controls, everything are exactly the same. I was hoping she'd be a little bit different, but I know it can be kind of a risk for games if they give you 2 characters with different controls, because oftentimes you end up only liking one, and sometimes you're like, man, I really want to go back to that other character. So I guess it couldn't be helped, but we are now on Sargasso, which I think is like her home world, or maybe one of her favorite worlds. And there's a lot of these little creatures called Morts that we're going to be dealing with from now until pretty much the end of the game. And they're friendly creatures. We will also be introduced into lots of other creatures that we'll be seeing. So there's these strange little frog guys, and they're no different than any other tiny enemy in the game. Just pull out your blast pistol or your shotgun if you want to, and just do whatever weapon that does a lot of very fast damage. Use that weapon and you'll kill them all really quick. They die in one hit, even on the hardest difficulty. And this planet, as we can see, is covered pretty heavily in poison, and there's a lot of those little scuttle bugs or scuttle beetles or something like that. They have a name that combines those words, and I forgot it right now. And we'll get to ride them in a second, so they're pretty fun. And then what else goes on here? There's a couple of other enemies we're going to be seeing soon, a couple of bosses, actually one boss in particular that the game is going to show us from now until pretty much the end of the game. And I still wish that they had given us a you a little bit more variety with the bosses. So here are some of the bug enemies, these like weird hornet things. These guys are really annoying. There's always going to be a swarm of them when they show up, and they spit poison on the ground. And I guess it's actually pretty similar to some of the other flying enemy attacks where they will shoot you with like an electro ball and it leaves electricity behind. That's kind of what this does, except with poison, and as soon as you think you've killed them, 5 more show up, so they're just really not a very fun enemy at all. Eventually, we'll get a gun that makes them extremely easy to kill, but for now, we just have to spam whatever weapon we've got. I'm still using the blast pistol, and that's probably one that I'll be using more heavily than I should have been this early in the game, but we really don't have a whole lot of weapon options yet, and we don't really have a lot of choice because we run out of ammo so fast. So of course, take a look around, pick up the boxes that will get you some ammo, and it's pretty hard to run out of ammo in this game, but it can happen. So just try to be a little bit mindful and try to spread out the use of your weapons. I mentioned this earlier, there's no reason whatsoever to stick to one weapon in this game.
And the last spindle runs into that rift thingy. Alright, smarty bot. What is this place?
A dimensional pocket? Perhaps a symptom of the Dimensionator's destruction.
How do you come up with this stuff? Hey, it's Maynard, the Morts' helper bot. Must have wandered in through the rift somehow.
There is the Speetle.
Alright, every now and then we're going to run into these rifts, and we can break into them, and they'll be kind of like a pocket world that we can do some stuff in. Usually there's like an armor piece at the end of them, and we can see that armor piece to our right. So this is the first time we're actually getting on a beetle. These rifts are optional. I think this one might be required just to introduce you to them, but other than that, the rifts are optional, and I still heavily recommend... Is that the right phrase? I strongly recommend that you complete these rifts as you see them, and later on it's a good idea to search for them because they give you these armor pieces that when you collect 3 of the same armor, you wind up getting damage defenses. And I think it's up to like 20% reduced damage that the armors will give you when it's a full set. And all of them stack on top of each other, I believe, and it's kind of cool because you still get the armor's effects, but you don't have to put the armor on, so you can kind of mix and match them and dress up your Lombax however you like. But that was just, that really just seemed like an introductory rift, and now they're really showing us what Sargasso looks like by riding this beetle, and eventually we're going to Skitterpede, is that what it's called? Something like that. I couldn't read it in time either. And then eventually we're going to hit the ledge and then get knocked over here with all these goons.
And his robo-pet across dimensions just to get stopped by some fuzzballs. So you got like 9.5 seconds to tell us where they're at. 1.
Hang on there now.
I can't actually remember if this is the first time we fought these guys or not, but they are sometimes a flying enemy, sometimes not. For the most part, I think these dinosaur guys fly at us, and they have a couple of different variety of enemies and a different couple of attacks that you'll find. And these ones just kind of shoot, I think that, they just shoot slow-moving target or projectiles at you, and they hit the ground, and they steam, and that looks like they just kind of burn the ground there, and they're kind of annoying because those slow-moving projectiles are really easy to literally jump into, and that's kind of a theme of all of my deaths in this game. So as I said before, I hope I've cut out most of my deaths, but I may have missed 1 or 2. And then this guy is another goon with melee weapons, so they're going to come up and try to whack you. And it's pretty hard to get away from them if you're close and they're in mid-swing. They just sort of extend their weapons, Dark Souls style, and hit you anyway. So you can hit them with your Ratchet, and that's not a bad way to take out some melee enemies, but they will usually get a hit in. And especially on the hardest difficulty, they will do a ton of damage. So just this area, try to avoid getting hit as much as I am, and defeat the enemies.
You're okay.
Us? Oh, when we heard those fellas were after a Lombax, we were worried about you. Well, next thing we know, you're here saving our behinds.
Wait, where are the others?
Well, Some of the Morts are stuck inside of that mess there. Not a clue what it is. All I know is it keeps getting bigger. Oh, between that and our new neighbor up there, we're not doing too fine.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Oh, and to keep you all busy while I'm gone, got this at Zerky's. Mort can finally fix that ship she's been working on.
Zerky's? Oh, those pirates didn't give you any trouble, did they?
Only a little.
You can give this to Mort yourself once you get her from that purple mess over there.